أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه وتسليما لأمره. We are in the final night of Ashura. We are commemorating the night of the martyrdom of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. One of the shuhada that we have not spoken about is Ali Asghar alayhi salam. The shaheed that is the biggest witness on the innocence of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. A shaheed that every person will bear witness that he did not go to the plains of Karbala to fight. A shaheed that was 6 months of age, and Imam Hussain alayhi salam, when he cried in the plains of Karbala, Hal min nasirin suruna. Each time he said it, a different effect happened. Is there anyone who would help us? Hal min mughithin yughithuna. Is there anyone who will come for our assistance? Hal min dhabbin yadhubbu an harami Rasulillah. Is there anyone who would look after the haram of the Holy Prophet, the daughters and the granddaughters of the Holy Prophet? At that point, the ladies started crying. Imam Hussain felt that he could not take the cries of the ladies, so he came back when he heard his sisters Zainab and Kulthum, Ruqayya, Khadija, his wives Rabab, Layla, his daughters Fatima, Sukaina, his daughter Sakina and his daughter Ruqayya, they were all crying. He came back. When he came back, he said, I'm still alive. Why are you all crying like this? They all said, when you said, Hal min nasirin yansuruna, Ali Asghar dropped himself from the cradle. Imam Hussain alayhi salam went forward and took Ali Asghar in his hands. His mother said, he is very thirsty. He has not had anything. He has not had any milk. Imam Hussain alayhi salam picked him up and was covering him in the abba that he was wearing. He came out. Maqtal says that when he asked Abu Khaliq, he said, "Oh Abu Khaliq, was there any time in the plains of Karbala that you felt saddened for Imam Hussain alayhi salam? You're so hard-hearted that you never cried?" He said, there was one time that not only myself, but every person that was present in Karbala was crying. He said, what moment was that? He said, when Hussain held a small baby in his hands, and that baby, after being killed, Hussain could not take the body. He said 7 times going forward, 7 times coming back, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un ridan biqada'ihi wa tasliman li amrih. Today, you all have carpets on the floor when you cry. You all have a shade on your head when you cry. But the ladies, when the tents were burned, they were sitting on the floor crying. When the ladies, the sisters of Imam Hussain, the family members, they were crying, they had no shade on their head. They all cried, they cried. This is Ali Asghar, the youngest shaheed of Karbala. When he took him in his hands, he was covering him. I always wondered, why did Imam Hussain alayhi salam cover him with his abba? Probably the father could not take his son in the sunlight because it was so hot that the father knew this child that is hungry and thirsty will not be able to bear the sunlight. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam was covering him. And as he was covering him, Imam Hussain alayhi salam went to the plains and he stood there in front of the crowd and said, I have this child. If there is a criminal, I am your criminal. I have not paid allegiance to Yazid. This child has not done any crime. Please give him some water. Umar Saad turned to Harmala ibn Kahil Asadi, and he said, Iqta kalam al-Hussain. Stop the speech of Hussain by killing that small baby. So Harmala picked up an arrow and placed it to kill and shoot the little baby. Imam Hussain alayhi salam had his child the little baby in his arms, in his hands. When the little child would have turned to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, I'm not sure if the child knew to smile or to cry at the hit of an arrow. The child that didn't even know, should I be crying or should I be laughing when I'm being killed? Can you imagine Fatima Zahra salamu alayha coming to the plains of Karbala to say, "O Harmala, you have children, do not kill the son of my son." He placed the arrow, and when he shot, ذُبِحَ مِنَ الْأُذُنِ إِلَى الْأُذُنِ. The riwayah says that the child was so small that the neck was so little that it cut the neck of the child from one ear to the other ear. It as if it slaughtered him from the middle. It killed him instantly. Sayyid al-Shuhada took the blood in his hands. Many riwayat say that he was throwing it up into the skies, and the skies were taking up the blood. The blood wasn't coming back onto the earth. Some scholars argue that Hussain alayhi salam was telling the people, look who this child is. Sayyid al-Shuhada picked up the little baby and started walking back. When he was walking back, he was saying, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. There were some ladies standing on the doorstep of the tents, and they were saying, Mawla, please come and tell us, have they given some water to the little baby? Probably a daughter of Imam Hussain alayhi salam was asking, Baba, please tell me, have they given water to Ali Asghar? Has he drank some water? Imam Hussain would have only said, "O my daughter, they have given such water to Ali Asghar, he will never ask for water again. He will never ever ask for anything ever again." He came back. He said to his sister that tomorrow they will trample the bodies. I do not wish for Ali Asghar. They will cut the necks of all the people, the shuhada, and they will place them on the javelins. I do not wish for Ali Asghar's head to be cut off. I want to bury him at the back of the tents. He went behind the tents and he dug a small grave, and he put Ali Asghar and closed the grave, and he cried and he said, "It is the sunnah of my grandfather that whenever someone dies, after you bury them, you pour some water on top of the grave. But I cannot even follow the sunnah of my grandfather, then I can pour some water on the grave of Ali Asghar." I believe that some of the women would have said, "Oh Hussain, allow us. We have so many tears. We will keep shedding the tears on the grave of Ali Asghar." They cried and they left. When on the 11th of Muharram, the people started chopping off the heads from the bodies, they said there is one head missing. One person said, "I saw Hussain burying a body behind the tents." 4 men got on the horses and they were holding javelins in their hands, and they were pushing them in the ground and pulling them up and running the horses. Suddenly there was a mother standing on the side watching over. One of the javelins went inside the ground. When it came out, it had a small body, and the mother said, "Oh Hussain, this is your last shaheed that gave his life for you." When they chopped off the head and placed it on the javelin, some people were saying, "Assalamu ala tifl al-radi." Salutations upon the small baby that only had some milk and wasn't able to even have any water from anyone else. This is Ali Asghar alayhi salam. We are going through the final night, the night known to be Ashura, the night of Ashura. I'm not sure how many of us will live till next year to see this night, and how many of us will not be able to see this night in the next year. let me say some of the words that you will only and only hear on the night of Ashura and on the 10th of Muharram. When Imam Hussain alayhi salam lost all of his companions and all of his brothers in the plains of Karbala, he had already said in the night of Ashura that there will be only one person who will live through this. His name will be Ali ibn Hussain, my son Zainul Abidin. When on the 10th of Muharram, everyone became shaheed except for Imam Hussain alayhi salam and Imam Sajjad. Imam Hussain came to the tent of Imam Sajjad. Imam Sajjad wanted to stand up to show respect. Imam Hussain said, "Oh my son, you are not well. It is not wajib upon you to show respect to me." He still got up and he said, "Oh my aunt, bring me my sword, I would defend my father. Bring me a stick, I want to stand on for showing respect to my father." When Imam Hussain alayhi salam embraced his son, he made a few wills. He remembered all of his Shias. He said, "Shi'ati mahma sharibtum ma a'adbin fadhkuruni, O sami'tum bi gharibin o shahidin fandabuni." O my Shias, whenever you drink cold water, remember my thirst. Whenever you hear about a person who lost his life in loneliness, then remember that I went through great atrocities. O my people, please remember me. We remember on the day of Ashura, on these 10 nights, we remember Imam Hussain alayhi salam. He made his will, he left. When he came to the tents for the final farewell, he first came to his sister Zainab and he said, "Itini bi thawbin atiq," bring me an old cloth, bring me old clothing, because I do not wish for it to be removed from my body. He cried and he said to his sister when he was leaving that, "Do not forget me from the nightly prayers." Zainab-e-Kubra, when Imam Hussain was about to leave, she said, "Stop, mahlan mahlan ya akhi, slow down, my brother, please do not leave the tents, wait for me to come." She came forward and she said, "Oh brother, open your neck, I wish to kiss your neck." When she kissed the neck of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he said, "Why did you kiss my neck?" She said, "Because our mother Fatimah Zahra said to me that when Hussain comes for the last moment, then kiss his neck on my behalf and tell him that I loved him." Imam Hussain came out, nadara yameenan wa shimala, he looked on the right and then he looked on the left. And then he said, "O Abbas, O Ali Akbar, O Qasim, O Habib, I helped you all to ride your horses. Come and see how lonely I am." A sister came outside and said, "Oh brother, do not say that you are lonely. I'm still alive. I will help you to ride your horse." She held the arm of Imam Hussain and made him ride his horse and helped him to get onto his horse. When Imam Hussain alayhi salam wanted to leave, he felt the horse is not moving on. He said, "Why aren't you moving on?" The horse did not answer. He could not speak, so he looked down. When Imam Hussain looked down, he saw that a small girl is holding the 2 feet of the 2 legs of the horse. He came off, embraced the little daughter and said, "Please return, O Sakina, please go back to the tents." The little girl said, "Father, I will not complain. I will not say anything to you. But father, where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to get some water for you." She said, "Father, whoever leaves never comes back." Uncle Abbas went, he never came back. Brother Ali Akbar went, he never came back. Whoever leaves, they don't come back. Father, don't leave. He said, "Aren't you thirsty?" She said, "I'm not thirsty anymore. I don't want any water. I don't want you to go, because whoever leaves, they don't come back." He said, "No, this is a promise that I made to my grandfather. I'm going to leave and I'm going to fight and I'm going to give my life to save Islam. Oh my daughter, go back to the tents. And every night you slept on my chest, but whenever your mother now tells you to sleep wherever, just sleep there. Do not ask for me. Do not ask to be with me. She said, Father, you always told me in Islam, sons and daughters both have shares. Father, please tell me, what do I have? You have taken your sons Ali Akbar and Ali Asghar with you. Father, tell me, what do I have? Some people say Imam Hussain picked up some earth from Karbala and placed it in the head of Sakina and said, oh my daughter, in your share you have the yatimi, you will be a yatim, you will be an orphan. Oh my daughter, you will be imprisoned. Oh my daughter, you will be taken as an imprisoner. Oh my daughter, you lose your life in difficulty, but you will be taken to the streets. Go back to the tents. She said, Father, now I will go back to the tents, but tell me one thing, Father, when will you come? He said, I will return to you when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. I will only return when Allah wills. He left. Sayyid al-Shuhada left. I will not say how he became Shaheed, but when he was losing his life in his last moments, he was all alone when he came off his horse. All around the people were shooting arrows at Imam Hussain alayhi salam and hitting him with the swords. Suddenly he saw his sister. He said, Ya Zainab, irji ila al-fustat. Oh Zainab, return back to the tents. Oh Zainab, don't stay here, because you will not be able to take the pain. You will not be able to see me die. Oh Zainab, go back to the tents. She looked at Imam Hussain alayhi salam and said, Anta akhi, are you my brother Hussain? Are you the one that my mother loved so dearly? He again said the same. He reiterated that, oh Zainab, return to the tents. Zainab turned to the people and said, Ama fikum Muslim, is there not a Muslim amongst you? This is the son of your Prophet's daughter, please save him. Umar as-Sa'ad was watching and she said, Yabna Sa'ad, O son of Sa'ad, do you allow your people to kill the grandson of the Prophet? Umar as-Sa'ad ordered someone should go forward and kill Hussain ibn Ali. Many people came and they said, no, we cannot kill him. He is very strong. And at the last moments when he was in his sajda, suddenly Shimr came forward. And others have mentioned other names, but Shimr came forward. He removed the imamah from the head of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and placed his hand in the hair of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and he struck him in the back of his neck once and twice and a few times. And after striking a few times, Imam Hussain alayhi salam said, stop, I'm the grandson of your Prophet, I'm the son of Zahra, I'm the son of Ali, stop. Then Shimr turned him over and held the beard and started killing him from the front. When Shimr was killing him, when the horse of Imam Hussain returned to the tents, the sisters and the daughters of Imam Hussain came out of the tents. One of the daughters, called Sakina, looked at the horse and said, Ya Jawad, hal suqiya abi am qutila atshana. Oh my father's horse, just tell me one thing. When my father left the tents, he was very thirsty. Did you give him water or did he die? Was he killed without drinking water? The horse did not say anything, but it had tears in the eyes. So she turned and said, now you have answered me. My father died thirsty. He wasn't given any water. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون.